thought or suggestion or belief about God that was not in accordance with the truth about Allah, and it was dhann al-jahiliya. It was a jahili type of opinion about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so that aspect of jahiliya is the idea that jahiliya is a way of viewing the world. It's an opinion about the world. In Arabic, dhann usually means opinion. In the Quran, it can mean opinion. It can also mean certainty. So it's a word that's nuanced. But generally, it means opinion. So in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that they had jahili opinions about God. In other words, their understanding of God was in accordance with jahiliya, not with truth. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says about jahiliya, أَفَحُكْمَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ يَبْغُونَ وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ حُكْمًا لِقَوْمٍ يُوقِنُونَ. Do they want the ruling of jahiliya? Do they want the ruling of jahiliya? And what is better than the ruling of God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for people who understand this, who have certainty? So that's another type of jahiliya, which is you have a jahili belief system, and then you have jahiliya as a way of governing your affairs. The Prophet ﷺ, for instance, said that the people of jahiliya were people that if a poor person did something, they punished them. But if a rich person did something, they let them off. So in our culture, somebody like Madoff steals $60 billion and they put him under house arrest in a $7 million apartment. And somebody goes to a 7-Eleven and steals $100 and he goes right to jail without passing go and collecting $200 or anything. So that's jahiliya. That is jahiliya, to prefer rich people over other people just because they're rich. That's the essence of jahiliya in terms of the ruling. But there are other aspects of that. For instance, Aisha radiallahu anhu said that in jahiliya, people would have relationships, and then they would have, in order to determine the child, they had somebody who knew qiyafa, which is like looking at people and seeing, oh, his face is like this and he looks like that. And that's who would determine the lineage of a child. So they would go and they would judge and say, you're the father. This is like an early DNA testing. This is a jahili DNA testing. It's the same idea. It's a paternity suit. The men are differing about, or the woman claims one of these is the father. So they bring the jahili scientist and he looks in the face and he says, you're the father, because of some kind of genetic relationship that he sees based on that science, because that's a knowledge to see qualities in people's faces. That's a ruling of jahiliya.